So, what does it actually mean to be conscious? Today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating potential answer: higher order theories. Now, I know it sounds super complex, but the core idea is surprisingly simple. And honestly, it might just change how you think about your own mind.
It all kicks off with this one fundamental question. I mean, think about it. You have thousands of mental states every single day: thoughts, feelings, perceptions. Most of them are just kind of humming along in the background, right? So, what's the magic ingredient? What's the secret sauce that turns one of them into a vivid, conscious experience? To get at that answer, higher order theories give us this powerful metaphor. Just imagine your mind is buzzing with all this activity. Consciousness, in this view, is like a mental spotlight. It doesn't create the thoughts or feelings, it just illuminates them. And it's the very act of shining that light that makes all the difference. So, what does it even mean to shine that spotlight? Well, the theory suggests it's all about taking a second look at what's already happening inside our own heads. Okay, so here's the core principle. You've got a mental state, let's just call it M, happening in your brain. It only becomes conscious when a second, higher-level mental state is pointed right at it. Think of it like a form of self-awareness. So consciousness isn't a property of that first state, but it's the relationship between the two states. Let's make this super simple. Imagine you get a sudden craving for coffee. That's your first-order state, just kind of there. It only becomes a conscious desire when a second process kicks in, the awareness that you are desiring coffee. That's the higher-order state. And when that happens, boom, a conscious experience is born. And this also explains the flip side. All those unconscious thoughts and biases and processes that are always running in the background. According to this theory, they're just mental states that haven't been hit by that mental spotlight yet. They exist, for sure, but without that second look, they never actually break through into consciousness. But okay, this is where things get a little more complex. See, the folks who support this theory don't all agree on the nature of that mental spotlight. What is it exactly? Is it a thought? Or is it maybe more like an inner sense? Turns out there are two main camps here. On one side, you've got higher order thought theory, or HOT for short. On the other, you've got higher order perception, or HOP. And the big disagreement is whether that metastate, that spotlight, is a thought, or if it's something more like a perception. Let's break them down. So, the HOT camp argues that the spotlight is literally a thought about your other mental state. A key argument they make is that, well, we don't seem to have any special brain organs for inner sensing. The thought is what they call assertoric. It's a direct mental assertion, kind of like your brain saying, yep, I am currently in this state. It paints a very cognitive, almost language-like picture of what consciousness is. But then the HOP theorists come along and they say, whoa, hold on a minute. Awareness feels immediate, it feels direct, not like some clunky, constructed thought. It feels more like seeing or hearing, right? They propose we have these inner sense mechanisms that just monitor our other mental states. And this, they argue, better explains why awareness feels so instantaneous. You don't reason your way to it, you just feel it. Okay, this next part is where the theory gets really, really profound. It suggests an incredibly tight link between just being conscious and having a sense of self. The core idea here is that it's not enough for awareness to just exist in a vacuum. For a desire to be conscious, you have to be aware that you are the one having that desire. The experience is intrinsically totally tied to the experiencer. So the crucial point is this. Higher order theory implies that to be conscious at all, you need at least a basic form of self-consciousness. It pretty much collapses the distinction between the two. A conscious creature isn't just aware of the world around it, it is, in a very real sense, aware that it is aware. It's a demanding definition of consciousness, but a really powerful one. So why? Why would evolution go to all the trouble of developing this complex, self-referential loop? I mean, what's the whole point of it all? Well, the answer seems to lie in two massive cognitive advantages. First up is flexible control. By being aware of our own thoughts and emotions, we can actually manage and regulate them. And second is social coordination. Understanding what it feels like for you to have a belief helps you understand that other people have them too. It's basically the bedrock of empathy and building complex societies. To bring it all back to our main metaphor, a mental state can exist, just like a lit light bulb. But the subjective experience of that light, the thing we call consciousness, that's the separate act of noticing it's on. It's that higher order state that registers the illumination. And that leaves us with a final thought. As you're listening to this, what is your mental spotlight focused on right now? The words I'm saying, maybe an idea that's forming in your mind, a feeling of curiosity? The very act of asking yourself that question, well, that's your higher order consciousness in action.